Morning, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Well, I have to say, I lost some sleep last night. The tiny house had its first real test last night. The ground is sopping wet. It rained really hard in the night, really hard. You can see the wetness on the walls. And I have to admit I was a bit stressed because I didn't have anything taped off. The seams weren't taped. The back wall is dry, so it's doing exactly what I hoped it would. The roof overhang is stopping it from getting out. Now look here, it's only wet where the ladder was because it was obviously running down the roof onto the ladder and splattering on the wall. Looks like the rain was driving from this side pretty much. It's all wet over here. The ground is wet, everything's sopping wet, water in my chair. But yeah, the front is sort of dry, which is what I was worried about because I didn't have that top closed in yet. And this side is dry, yeah, so the rain was driving from that other wall. This side is dry. So here's the good news. What I was really worried about, see, because I didn't have this closed in yet, and I didn't have that closed in yet. There's only so much you can do in a day, and fitting that like pieces of a puzzle. I don't think, yeah, we didn't show what we did yesterday, did we? At the end of the day, we just worked. I didn't use the camera anymore. It was just exhausting, and we just got it done. So we fit it around the rafters like a piece of a puzzle. And it's dry. My tiny house on wheels is absolutely dry. There is not a drop of water anywhere inside. Nothing. Even the wall that got blasted is completely dry inside. The water ran right off. My floor is dry. I lost sleep last night worrying about this because it was raining really hard. It was really pouring down. The floor, the paper is dry, everything's dry. So it withstood the first test. My tiny house. This looks cool. I just like walking out here and looking. It's so cool. So I don't know if we showed it last night because it was getting late. I'm not sure if we showed it or not, but see how we fit that together like a puzzle? All the pieces? That took some time, but that's nice and tight. There's no gaps, there's no leaks. Well, there's a thunderstorm coming right now. There's a thunderstorm coming as I speak. Now I can relax and not stress. This is an awesome site. I keep looking at it. I keep going inside. I keep dreaming about the future. I keep dreaming about having it done. Now let me show you something. Actually I got my chest in there. That's been in my car since the day I got it. I've been keeping that in the car. I had nowhere else to put it, and now I have a place. I have a solid watertight roof. Now, I mentioned that I went to get a stovetop off Craigslist a while back, and I never showed you. I ended up getting busy when I hit the ground running again. This is a glass top propane stovetop. Thermidor is the name. It's glass top, and it's a drop-in propane 4-burner stovetop. Great. It is perfect. Perfect for the off-grid homestead, for my little off-grid tiny home. It does have electronic ignition, but I don't care. It has a AC power plug, and he said one of the burners is gone, and honestly, I don't care, because I use a lighter to ignite my burners to save on gas. When you have a pilot light burning all the time, you're just wasting fuel. So I don't have a pilot light. I just keep it off. And This is perfect. Propane 4-burner stove. One of my first things for my tiny house kitchen. And it's sitting roughly where it's going to be. Roughly just about where it's going to be living. I'm not quite sure yet with the... I've got to get a imaginary wall in here where the bathroom is going to come out. And put up a divider so I can get a better feel of where the kitchen's going to be. And once I get this section here framed in, hopefully today I'll have that done. It's supposed to rain, and the good news is really it isn't going to bother me much except for everything is wet. All the wood that I'm working with is wet. It makes it hard to work with wet wood. It's hard to cut wet wood and it's hard to work with wet wood. But besides that, happy, everything's good and happy. Now, I was at Harbor Freight today, and this is not from Harbor Freight. I was at Harbor Freight today and took back some stuff that was defective and wasn't working, and all I walked out with, this is a miracle, the guys will understand this, it's all I came out with. I lost mine. I don't know if I ever had one in this country. I remember having had one, but I lost it, funny enough. I was using something in the forest last year. No, I don't think I had one of these last year. Now, this is going to help for breaking up pallets. And I think mine was in Germany that I last remember having one. But anyway, that was only $2. I got money back from Harbor Freight today for some defective junk. And, you know, coming up with nothing but a $2 thing is nothing short of miraculous. But then I went to Home Depot, which happened to be right there, and I got some cedar shims for my windows and doors. And, alright guys, you're gonna love this. Everybody tells me to get Tyvek. Everybody says get Tyvek. I got Tyvek tape. That's as far as I'm gonna go. This is for the seams and seals and holes in my sheathing. I was told that this will stick to just about anything, and I studied online, and it's supposed to stick to plywood. We'll see. I got 2 rolls of Tyvek house tape. And I've got, for my windows, I've got the asphalt and aluminum, it's butyl hybrid, whatever that means. It's the flashing tape, same stuff I used for sealing my bottom of my subfloor, the aluminum flashing. So that is the flashing tape that's going around all my windows and my openings and my doorway. And there's a house tape. After it rains, I'll be able to go around with the house tape and seal off all these holes and seams and openings in my house in the siding, or in the sheathing. So all those light gaps that you can see, I'll close them off from the outside with the house wrap tape. And then I'm going to caulk on the inside anyway, because I'm going to have an airtight, each board, what am I saying, between every single stud in this house is going to be a sealed off container, a sealed compartment. Some people might say this is overkill, but it is how it's going to be for me. I'm going to caulk around every single stud in the whole house, every single hole, gap, and every opening in the whole entire house is going to be caulked and sealed off, each one separated from the other. There will be no way wind can ever penetrate this place. And I have been very saving in some areas and very conservative on my building materials and in my costs, but with caulk and sealing the interior of the walls off is where I'm going to not be worried about expense, because I need to have this airtight and well sealed. So anyway, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm only just getting back from shopping. I took my neighbor into town and we had a good morning of it after I finished my video work for this morning. And we did some wheeling and dealing with each other, trading and dealing with some stuff. He's got 250 feet of wire, 14 gauge. It's a four strand spool of 200 feet of 14 gauge wire, which if I double up gives me 12 gauge wire, which is what I need for my low power 12 volt devices. The battery bank is going to be back here in the back wall under a bench like I have in the RV. And from there, I'm going to run wires along the floor under wood trim. Now, a lot of people have wondering, this is probably going to answer a lot of questions, because I'm not putting any holes in the walls. There will be no holes They're going to be absolutely sealed and insulated, solid, sealed off chambers. Each one will be a separate compartment with no holes. So anyway, the wiring is going to stay inside the home and run along the floors and then come up wherever I want a outlet. So wherever I'm going to have an AC outlet or a DC outlet, it'll come along and I'll have an outlet box. I'll have a little box wherever in inconspicuous and not so awkward areas, probably preferably the corners, built in my cabinetry and stuff where I have I'm going to build have a built-in shelving unit over here with a coffee table at the end of either end of my sofa that I'm going to build, my sofa slash bench slash battery box and slash bed. I'll probably have that be a fold out for guests. I can have power plugs on the bottom of that. I can have power plugs, AC, DC power outlets on each cabinet on the corners. I'm going to have probably a perfect spot will be on the outer edges, depending on how this door runs here, of the... Nope, my neighbor's coming to say hi. We're doing some dealing on some wood here with the trees and lumber. So I'll come back and explain some of that another time. Wheeling and dealing, that's what it's all about when you're living off the grid. Dealing with your neighbors, making trades, making bargains. I just got about 250, 300 feet. This is a 500 foot spool of 14 gauge wire. It's 4 strands of 14 gauge wire, which means I can double that up. And I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you double it, you get 12 gauge, I think, if you double 14 gauge. So anyway, this is going to be perfect for wiring up my home with the DC side. Doubling up the two 14s, I am going to pair up the black with the green and the red with the white, and there I've got double the current carrying capacity to wire up my house, my tiny house. So there's my 12 volt wire. Isn't that funny? That is so weird. We were just talking about wiring up the house, and he drives up and makes me a deal. So some of the money I just got back from Harbor Freight, I just gave him a battery, a junk battery, and because he needs it for a core, and I gave him some cash and I got this. So it's funny, I was just wondering, how am I going to get the wire to wire up my tiny home on wheels? And there it is. That's just crazy. There's the 12 volt wire right there. So there's the DC wiring. And that's going to be enough to do everything I need and then some. Perfect. Now what was I talking about? We were talking about putting the power outlets. I'll probably have them recessed into the cabinet, the edge of the kitchen counter space up here, for example. So I can plug in DC or AC lines. I can have them in the front or around the sides or wherever. And then upstairs I'll have some AC and DC outlets probably at each end of each room so that I have enough outlets here. But it's going to be good. It's going to turn out really well. So I got to get my thoughts together. I was distracted from what I was going to do. Oh, I'm going to build my wheel wells today. And I also want to plane some wood. So I'm going to get all my wood out of the weather. It's been sitting here getting soaked all the time. And I'm going to have to let this stuff air dry before I hit it with a planer. So I got to lay this out. There's moisture all over up in here because it's been raining all the time. See, that's all wet. I gotta let this stuff dry out and then I can hit it with a planer. Just got a box. It was hand delivered to me from FedEx today while I was heading out this morning. Delivered by Amazon, so I won't know what we got here until I get it open for sure. A lot of bubble wrap. Oh wow, I did not expect, it didn't feel that heavy. Nice. Okay, I knew this was coming, but I wasn't quite sure because this box did not feel heavy. Let me get this open. The Suburban Homesteader asked me if I had, or what my battery type was for my Ryobi set. Wow, that is heavy. I can't believe it felt so light in the box. Wow, that's a Ryobi impact driver set with a mess of different types of bits. Impact rated driving bits. Nice. So that takes the batteries that I have. Oh, that's going to be useful right now. From the Suburban Homesteader. What is this YouTube channel? The Patriot Prepper YouTube channel. You guys can go check out the Patriot Prepper. That's who sent me this. Well, thank you very much. That is heavy. I wonder why it didn't feel heavy in the box. I guess it's just an illusion when you're filling a box. Well, I can't wait to try this out. There's a chuck. I gotta figure out how to use this. I've never had one of these. Oh, it's for sockets as well. How cool. Neat. Well, I'll be putting this to use pretty soon. Well, thank you very much. Look at that. That is going to be a very useful tool for the off-grid homestead. The Ryobi, my favorite line of tools now. Well, what's great is I'm already going to get to use my new power driver. Try it out because I'm finishing up this wheel well, and I was having a nightmare of a time with the screws, if you can remember. So let's see what we got here. Well, these got extensions and everything. Find the right size. It feels tight, really tight. Well, let's see how it works. This is going to save my arms a lot of strain, I think, because I won't have to push as much. The driver's going to do the work. Nice. Oh, this is so much smoother. I just can't believe the difference. I don't have to do the work. I was pushing and pulling with all my strength. My arms right in here were in agony every night. I'll have huge muscles if I keep it up, but still, it hurts so bad. This is like putting it in a butter. I can't believe it. It's just so smooth. I wish I'd have had this before. It would have saved me so much time and trouble and pain. It's so easy. Oh, I can't believe it. No more wrenching and prying and pressing and pulling and torquing. The driver does it all. Oh, it's so amazing. I love it. I love it a lot. It's going to make my life so much better. Well, I'm going to finish this wheel well. What I got going on is I've got to find some scrap. I'm going to put some scrap up in here as a lip for the bottom edge, and then I'm going to drop a piece of OSB on the bottom and then put flashing on that from the bottom side. So I've got some meat for it to grip into. And then I can put my insulation in and then put a piece of the plywood that I got for the top and close that off, finally. Got some liquid nails on here, and what I'm doing, I'm just checking the size of my screws. I'm scabbing in scrap pieces of wood, old pallet pieces, for something for my OSB to drop into and fasten to from the bottom. It doesn't have to be huge. There's not going to be any really pressure on it. Just got to hold this in place is all. Oops, that's the other bit head. I'm going to be using this driver a lot, I think. Nice. So I don't need just 2 screws because there's no force on that. That's just going to be there to hold the OSB from down below. Again, the idea is only to give it some meat to screw to or nail to. I can use trim nails on the edges, on the thin stuff, and thicker on the middle. But all it's got to hold is the insulation. Nice. Oh, I love it. Wow. This is going to make such a difference. Yeah, so I'm just scabbing in junk pieces of wood in there. And then I'm going to go dig out a piece of OSB and I'll have myself a wheel well today. Have that closed in. Recycling wood. That's the way this tiny home is being built. Recycled wood, recycled materials. This is that OSB that I got from that pallet haul about a month ago. I knew it would be useful. It's going to be useful for a lot of stuff. I'm going to use it in the kitchen behind the cabinets. No point in putting beautiful paneling and putting a lot of work and planing wood to hide it behind the cabinets and behind the kitchen countertops. I'm going to have the OSB behind it. Lightweight and free. All I got to do is take the staples out. I already cut this to fit my wheel well. Free and recycled materials. Makes everything go well. It makes this tiny house a very affordable budget DIY tiny home. I'll show you as soon as I get these wheel wells framed in where I'll be putting the OSB in the kitchen. But anything where the walls will be hidden, there's no point in putting a lot of work into it to hide it. No point in investing a lot of time into working on restoring pallet wood and planing it and sanding it. It'll never be seen. So there is hopefully a drop-in board for my wheel well if I cut it right. It's awkward because it wasn't straight materials to work with, but there's the wheel well. Now you're seeing this live as I try it out. Is it too long? Can't be too long. It's warped. That's giving me trouble. Might have to shave a little bit off the edge. Looks like I might have to. It was hard to measure because it was warped. I'm going to shave just a tiny tip off that edge. Turn off the camera while I do that. I'll be back in a minute. There it is. Alright, now I'm going to glue it. Get some trim nails and nail it in place. Yep, it's going to work. And this will be the underside of the wheel well. Actually, I'm not going to need much besides glue, because it's warped. I'll definitely need some nails in there. I've got a ton of liquid nails from when I went shopping when I first started out, so alright, drop them in place. That's gonna be good. Grab a couple screws for that centerpiece, trim nails for the outside. Sorry for the delay there. Boy, everything's sticky. Oops, I don't know where my screws are. Let me go get some screws and pause. There's the bottom of the wheel well. Let's see where the 2x4s are here. Right here. I can't even see that one. That can't be right. Need my tape. Can't tell where the 2x4 is. Over here. Yeah, hit it. Oh, my screw just went away. I had 3 screws. Ah. Good. So I like screws and nails, so you got that shear resistance and glue. You got resistance to pulling out, you got shear strength, and you got glue. nailing it so you don't have to watch. But there is a wheel well taking shape. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm scrapping in flashing into the wheel well cavity. Aluminum flashing. Oops. Ah. Gonna have to hit that with a hammer. That should be good. So I'm scrapping in the flashing, and then later I'll paint it with rubber insulation, rubber tire undercoating. This whole thing will be coated with the tar. So I'm going to scrap in the flashing. I'm going to cut another strip here and then put it along the edges. So I won't bore you with that. I'll get all that in there.